What's up, my little pulselings? How's it going? Thank you for joining me today, where every day from Monday to Friday we will take a look at a different game to see if it's worth your hard-earned money or if it's not. If you like what you see, like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. And on a Friday, if I do any Let's Play, I'll put it up then so you got a bonus video. Let's get to the video. Sup, pulsers! Thank you for joining me today. We are taking a look at Dungeon Monarch. Vambrace. I forgot to put the Vambrace bit at the beginning. Right, I hope you can hear me. I might be a bit too loud or a bit too quiet. I'm not too sure. The game is in early access. This is the demo part, just to get feedback and to show people about the game, really. However, there's no volume controls or any other controls at all. Just new game or exit, which is fair enough. So I'm not sure how loud this is going to be or how quiet this is going to be. Right, so let's hear from the developer. Deck building, dungeon defense, and tactical gameplay combined in Dungeon Monarch. Recruit warriors and wizards, buff your heroes, and thrash your foes. Summon your Dungeon Monarch to perish interlopers and defeat enemies to increase your dark powers. Yes. The game itself is pretty cool, but it's very bare bones at the moment. So I'm going to skip most of the story because you want to see the gameplay and my thoughts of the game. The game is, what I can see, is quite cool. The story is quite cool as well. Basically, you're a monarch of a dungeon. People turn up to rob the place where you are. There's some other bits of the story, but don't need to go into that. So let's just go straight through to the gameplay section. So this is your dungeon. This is your lair. This is where you live. WASD will grant. And you push E to interact with people. Everything on here is not available yet, but you do unlock it as you go along. Your library is where you can take a look at your cards. Now that symbol there tells you who this works for. This works for the Steel Legion, who also have that symbol. Any cards that have fire on them, so you can get some monsters that are aligned to certain elements. Fire, wind, lightning. Steel Legion tends to be aligned with lightning. Grants burn 1 to 5 to enemies. Applies effect to the floor. So this means it will have a fire element on that tile. So any of your users that uses fire get an attack increase. Any ones that use wind would also get an attack increase. So this deals 5 to 135 damage to enemies on a tile with a Steel Legion. This increases Steel Legions by 3. Now, I haven't really figured out the point of this because this is very, very bare bones. I want to make that clear. Now, some of these cards have this symbol on it. When it's got that symbol, that means your monarch, your leader, that's what the monarch is the only card who can use it, which increases mana by 1, so only your monarch can use it. This is the monster points. Monsters cost between 1 to 2. They're the ones that I've seen anyway. And once you reach 11, you cannot add any more monsters until some of them die. When they die, you can add more monsters. But that's basically the cards I've seen so far. You can unlock more of them throughout the demo. The demo, to me, is... I can't wait to see where it goes, quite frankly. Because there's some cool elements. Right, this is the battle arena. Now, I think you can unlock more of this later on, because there is a room that you can open up that shows you more tiles going off. So you must be able to unlock them. Think of this as like your homeland. The enemy will come down and they'll try to get further and further down to your portal. I think if they destroy your portal, you die. I don't know. They didn't destroy my portal, so I don't know. When you cast magic, say like I cast a fire on here, it also casts it on this one. If it's a tile effect, that spreads. So any fire users in these two tiles will also benefit from fire being there. So go to unit spawn. So look, that one's got a 2 above his head, so that would use 2 unit spawn points. That's got 1, that would use 1 spawn point. These are Steel Legion characters. The ones with that symbol there are the Steel Legion, and it does advise you to use them in the beginning as you're playing through the stages. That's an Ash Shaman. They're their own people, so you want to match the units with each other because they will benefit together being in the same square, if you know what I mean. Their special ability is to deal 200 attack power to one enemy. Increases shield to self by 2 and increases threat level by 1. Grants allies a shield 5. That's only to Steel Legions. So he and him in the same square, when his special ability builds up and activates, it will also affect him. As far as I can make out, I haven't actually seen it go off because they can move independently throughout the battlefield. So I do like that one. Right, deals 150 attack power to one enemy and then heals 50% damage. I like that one. Ghouls are cool. And I like the Ash Shamans. The Ash Raiders, I think, are pretty neat because I've got quite a few fire spells. And I'll just take that one. When I've used that one before, it died quite quickly. That comes out of your coin pool at the top, by the way. This is where you'll deploy your units. So I'm going to deploy him. I'm going to put him up here as well as him. I'm going to put these two over here. I'm going to put a fire one on his own. Now you can unlock more throughout the fight. So I've got 8 out of 11. But you have to wait a few turns before you can do that. Yep, let's start the round. The game has a lot of potential. So when the first turn happens, the enemy will come in on these points. They will get a summoning sickness, which goes to your advantage. Now, my fire warrior who was here decided to move there because that's where the enemy was. So, my advice for the developer would be not to allow that. Let the players choose to move their units where they want, because maybe I want my character to stay down here in case they got past the front line. But that's just my personal opinion anyway. Alright, Steel Legions, a shield of 43. So I'm going to put it on them. And because they're both Steel Legion, it affects both of them. That's why I'd want my Steel Legions to stay together throughout the entire fight. But they do move around independently. Deals 12 fire damage to enemies. Deals 7 fire damage to enemies and lights the floor on fire twice. This one does it 3 times. And grants, I think that's wind, that circular one. Now these cards are the Monarch cards. You cannot use them unless your Monarch is on the field and your Monarch can use them. So basically, you use your turn to weaken the enemy. So I'll put it on him. And as you can see, they've got like a glowy symbol around his attack now, because it's got the earth effect on that square. There you go. I forgot what button it was to change it. That is that level. That one is that second level. And that last one is third level. So that's what's affecting those levels now, is fire. So my fire unit and my wind unit both get a little benefit when they attack. Now your attacks are automatic. The card phase, the whole point of the card phase is literally to weaken your enemies. So I'm going to bring down my Monarch over this one. The Monarch attacks when they land instantly, and it's only the Monarch that can use these cards. I don't know what happens if the Monarch dies. I gather you'd lose, but I'm not too sure as it doesn't, as I didn't die. Now if you push the tab button, you can switch between your cards and bringing in more units. So when you buy more, you can have them stacked up. So when a unit dies, you can just switch by using tab between your cards and your units to bring more of them onto the battlefield. It's a cool little idea. And this is the attack phase. All units attack automatically. It goes by speed, so the higher your unit's speed, they will attack first. Now, one of the other problems is a lot of these cards cost 2 mana to cast. I only have 3 mana. So if I was doing a starting deck, I'd pick all 1 mana cost cards. I wouldn't pick any 2 mana cost cards because, well, it takes too long. And some of the Monarch ones are also 2 cost. Right, so we're going to do 12 fire, 7 fire. I'm going to do 12 fire on this dude. And because fire was already there, and I've got a unit with fire, the same effects that are going to happen. So you want to try to match the effects with whatever units you've got there. So we're going to end our turn. Now, because my 2 units here attacked, their abilities got a little bit of power to it. So when he goes at the top, he's going to do the strike. When he gets to the top, he's going to do the shield. But that's how the abilities work anyway, which I think is a pretty cool idea. It's just a pity that your starting cards are not aligned with these guys when it tells you to use these guys straight away. But there you go. Right. They should be right over there. I'm going to use some fire over here. Feel the skill cooldown for all units in the Steel Legion. Ooh. That's only 1 cost. That costs 3. The Monarch deals 100% damage to 1 random engaged enemy. Adds the use of violent dreams to your hand. Ooh. The Monarch deals 7% damage to enemies. Attack power. If the target has debuff, gain mana equal to the number of debuffs and draws. Now you can click at the bottom and just go through every single card in the game, which I think is pretty cool that it allows you to do that. So I'm going to cast Onslaught. There's only 1 cost to cast. I've got onto my 2 Steel Legions. There you go. They got max now. So he should do his attack. And he should put shielding on both of them. That's shielding. That's attack. I think that's... might be hit chance. I'm not too sure. Doesn't explain that. That's speed. Right, so he's got 20 speed. He's got 14. So he's going to go first. I should go first in that area. I'm going to descend my Monarch up there to also fight. I'm going to end turn. So as you can see, you can bring in more units throughout the fight. I've got 8 out of 11. The only thing is the Steel Legion is actually quite expensive. I'll get both of them. What's that? Deals 300 of attack power to 1 enemy. In this case, it has 1% chance to deal 100 additional damage. I'll get another skeleton. I don't want any of them. So I'm going to bring on my other Steel Legion unit, and I'm going to bring on my other skeleton. They can't go there. I'll bring one there. Right, so I've maximised out my units, so I'm going to push tab to change back to the battle cards. Increase the value of Steel Legion by 2. I'm not sure what that does, so I'm going to cast that on them. 54 hearts. I think that brings her attack up. I don't know. It's not well explained. Right, let's fill up their special abilities so they can kill everyone. We're going to cast a fire one in that area. Give it a fire ability in case my fire mage goes over there at some point. Oh, these guys are wind as well, so they're also getting a bonus. That's pretty cool. Victory! Now this is the enemies that I've captured. When you beat them in combat, you capture them, you put them in your prison, and I gather they're going to join you at some point. I want the Warrior's Apprentice, that looks cool. What's he got? Attacks random enemy 3 times, dealing 100% of attack power. These healers deals 200% damage. I didn't think they would get good. So I'm going to get... I'll get them all. This is a building that you can now build in your dungeon, which will open up one of the rooms. Tile building, increase the attack power of allied units, deals 3 mental damage to enemies at the start of each turn. Ooh. I didn't figure out how the mental side works. At the start of each turn, there's 20% chance to summon 1 allied mana worm if possible. Right, they're both the same, so I'm going to take Hatchery. Because the Steel Legion does have a bug thing that can join it. So when you return back here, you'll see openings, which is the construction site where you can build stuff for your dungeon. So this is why I think the rooms can be increased in number, because clearly they're here. So you must be able to go all up there in the finished game as well. We're going to put that in the middle one. Right, my gold's gone up to 999. That's cool. Oh, bridges. You must be able to... Yeah, you must be able to damage and take out the bridges, which means if you was to build this forward, you could funnel them to certain ways. That's pretty cool. I really hope the developer makes that a thing where you can do more on this side. The construction side, I think, would be really cool for this game. We're going to do a couple more fights. Right, at the beginning of this next set of battles, I can actually rearrange and move my units by clicking on them. So what you do is, you pick on a unit, you hold on to it, lift it up, and that's about it. Now I think it would be better if you could do that more throughout the fight. I think it needs to give you more control of your own units, if you understand what I mean. And in the future, I think it'd be so awesome if you can actually upgrade the units. So this Steel Legion one, I'd like to upgrade to make them a bit stronger. Because the whole buying random units, that's the bug thing I was on about. So look, it's got a bug symbol and it's a Steel Legion. So I get both of those. Sandworm deals 200 attack power to a random enemy. Believer consumes 50% of his current health, heals allies the same amount. They die very quickly. Deals 150% of attack power to one enemy and decreases armor by 2. Ooh. Increase vampire by 3. That's the only one of that, but it is wind. And I do have a few wind cards. That looks good to me. I really hope you can increase this number so I can have more of my Steel Legion down. Right, let's start the round off. He just threatens you and waffles on. Right. Right, all that did was tell me about the synergy, such as having fire by the fire guy, having Steel Legion with Steel Legion characters, so they can help each other out. He's on his own, which is quite sad. Well, I could deal 50 Steel Legion damage. Or I could do some fire damage. We're gonna do some fire damage. Some Steel Legion damage over there. Wow. Yeah, go on, lads. That looks more like a dwarf. "37 enemies left." See, that's the bit I don't like, where it moves randomly, because I want to keep certain units together. Well, that's increased their value, which I still don't know what it does. I think, yeah, it increases their health, and I think it increases their 54 health. Oh, wow. That's quite a big boost. Give Steel Legion a shield. Right, I can descend my Lady Monarch to attack, and we can do fire. This has maximum fire damage now. Yes, let's keep going. See, I would like to move these two units in with this one, so all three of them together. What we got? Dungeon Monarch, fire attributes. Increase Steel Legions. Let's do that to all three of these. 73. What we got? Goes a skill cooldown for all Steel Legion units. Oh, one more attack left. Oh, I can get the Monarch to attack. Let's get the Monarch to attack. I'm going to try to destroy area after area. He's going to go down there. There's nothing I can really do about that. We've got another Onslaught card for our Steel Legion. We've got our Monarch cards. We've got two of them, actually. Let's click through so you can see different ones. Increase the value of properties. Search a win card from the deck. So there is some card draw, just not much. Because I think that should give you an idea of whether or not you like this game or not. Oh. Deals additional damage based on the unit's defense when they attack, 5 to 8% of damage dealt. So the potential is there for a really cool game, which I do think this can become. The cards that you start off should all be ones. The developer needs to know that. So this is going to be mostly for the developer, by the way, what I'm saying there. I'd love to know if you guys agree or disagree, though. That would be a cool conversation, because I do think this game has a lot of potential, but I do think it's got some issues as well. Now, obviously, one of the issues is the volume controls and the basic options, which it should really have. Two would be the game setup. The construction of the base, I think, could really help or really hinder the game, depending on how it's done. So having specific unit buildings in there, such as this helps all fire users, this helps all wind users, this helps all electric users on this floor kind of thing. I think that'd be pretty cool. I like the graphics, I like the music, but I'd like the ability to be able to turn it down. But again, this is just the first look, early access. But I think it's a really cool idea. I do think you should get to... The game would be better if you had alliances to certain things. So I like the Steel Legion. So having a character who controls more Steel Legions and starts off with more Steel Legion characters, or increases the chance of you getting those characters. Same as if you like the other ones I liked was the Fire Sand Raiders, because I had quite a few of them last time. I had no Steel Legion last time. I had most of the fire dudes, and they go really well with them fire cards. But then I should get to pick that for the deck. I should have it based around the soldiers that I want, as well as the movement. You should get to choose where your units move if there's no enemies in that tile, because that's going to be a huge part of the strategy for most players, and I think they'd really like that option. But like I said, I think this is a cool idea for a game. It all depends on where it's going to go, so I'm going to put it on wish list and keep an eye on it to see where they take it, because the potential is there. I think this game has potential. I like the concept, but that's just me. But as always, it's not up to me, it's up to you to do you. This has been Pulse Beetle. Thank you for your time. Have a good day. Keep the pulse. Remember,